Hello, it's Duclo with All News Pipeline. It's May 2nd, 2017. Yesterday, on May 1st, you had the May Day protests. What you're looking at are people that were arrested in Portland, Oregon. There were 25 of them arrested, and three of them were juveniles, so their pictures and names have not been released. There's more down below what you're seeing, but you can see they're all in black. These are the mug shots of them. But let's take a look at exactly what happened yesterday, and specifically why these people are being charged with disorderly conduct, or I'll go into the charges, but not, they haven't been charged with felony rioting. We're going to take a look at the law and ask ourselves why these people are not being charged to the limit of the law, which would give a good example to others that want to try doing what they did yesterday in Portland, Oregon. This is the Portland, Oregon Gov page. All these links, by the way, will be in the article associated with this video, and that will be put into the details once it's published. Permitted, now the May Day PDX March, they did have permits. They were permitted to do so. It started turning violent when Antifa showed up and the anarchists showed up. And as you can, I'll show you real quick, it was planned far in advance, and they used online methods to do so, which goes directly to the law. This is a screenshot of an event that was planned, hosted by Anarchist Student Union. So, you know, right there, they're admitted, self-admitted anarchists. This is our time to love, to mourn, to resist. This May Day, we fight back for the earth, for our friends, and for our dignity. May Day Anti-Capitalist March, Portland, Szymanski Park, May 1st, 2017, 1 p.m., and it says, wear black. Now, as you can see from the picture alone, people throwing fire bombs. I mean, they're showing a riot there. You know they were planning a riot there. They were planning to invade people that were protesting peacefully, which is part of our First Amendment, because they were deliberately trying to start a riot. Let's read the rest of this. In the details, it says, May Day is quickly approaching. As anarchists and radicals, we have a different view of May Day than those hosting the permitted march. So they're admitting they're not part of what was people had permits for. This will be at the same time as the permitted march. Will respect the organizers and the people of the permitted march to a point. Then we shall do our own thing. It would be ideal to actually form a block this May Day for our own safety. That means we stick together and watch each other's backs. And he goes on, they go on about, you know, how angry, all the things they have to be angry, and they recommend people wear all black as well as masks for your safety from cops as well as fascists. Shows everyone we're in solidarity with everyone else present. Well, let's take a look at the difference between what they were doing and what the peaceful protesters were doing. We're back at the Portland, Oregon government page. It says on Monday, May 1st, 2017, 25 people were arrested after a permitted May Day rally and march developed into a riot after dozens of suspects committed numerous criminal acts, including disorderly conduct, riot, arson, criminal mischief, which is vandalism, theft, and assault. And we'll show you some pictures of this, and there'll be other videos of what happened yesterday in the article associated with this, so you can see the kind of antics these people did and the criminal activity. It says prior to the permitted march beginning, officers took possession of numerous sticks, poles, homemade shields from participants arriving at Szymanski Park, which is exactly where those people were slated to meet. Early in March, which was scheduled to travel through downtown Portland and return to Szymanski Park, rocks and projectiles were being launched at police officers and paramedics, including a full Pepsi can that struck a Portland Fire and Rescue paramedic assigned to assist the Portland Police Bureau's rapid response team. Now, they explain exactly what happened, but we're going to do one better. We're going to go through the tweets from the police department as it was going down when things went from peaceful to chaotic. They do say that numerous projectiles were thrown and launched at police and firefighters, rocks, bottles, ball bearings, fireworks, smoke bombs, and road flares. At some point, and we'll show you this in the tweets also from the Portland Police Department, the permit for the march was revoked so that they could try to get everybody off the street because everything just blew up. Now, what I want to go through here, there were 22 adults, age, name, and charge. Now, evidently, they did add in the three juveniles, which at first, in the original reports that I saw elsewhere, I hadn't seen. So you can see there was a 14-year-old and there were two 17-year-olds. The rest were ranging from their 20s to their 40s. There's a 44-year-old there, 42-year-old, 34-year-old. Now, but look at the crimes. Disorderly conduct in the second degree. This is what you're seeing, disorderly conduct. Now, elsewhere it does say that they may be levying more charges against these people, but right now this is what they're giving them. Now, here's another shocker. All three juveniles were released to a parent, which they are juveniles, but the adults received a traffic citation for violation of Oregon Revised Statute ORS 11.535, which is failing to obey a police officer. That's it? Really? Now, we're going to go over to the, as it was happening, the Portland Police Department was tweeting out updates on it. It gives a good idea of how things went down, how they went from peaceful to an all-out riot. You can tell this is the official Twitter page for the Portland Police Department because they do have the little check mark, which means they have a verified account. You can see they were announcing where it was going to be, gave a little map for it. Crowds gathered in Szymanski Park, cooperative. Safety reasons, some large sticks and poles had been taken for safekeeping. An hour later, the march was to begin soon, starting at Szymanski Park. Multiple homemade shields had been taken for safekeeping, and they showed some pictures. The march started. Everything seemed to be going pretty good. The march lead is at Southwest 5th Avenue, Columbia. I mean, they're tracking this thing. Everything seemed to be pretty good. And then all of a sudden, some rocks were thrown at officers. And then additional rocks were thrown. Officers will be putting on protective helmets. Now, if you know you have anarchists showing up, why were the police not automatically have protective gear on? I mean, why? I mean, I understand, oh, we don't want to incite them, but you already knew they were coming and you already knew, I mean, all you had to see was that picture on top of their announcement to know that they're planning some riots. Well, they put their protective helmets on. Then the medic was hit. And then the march lead went on telling you where it was going. And here you go, the anarchists committing acts of violence, property damage during the May Day march. Permitted group encouraged to separate from them. First they were trying to separate them so they could arrest the criminals or give them a little slap on the wrist, whatever, but take the regular protesters out. Then rocks, lead balls, full cans, Pepsi launched at police. Officers will be donning personal protective equipment, which they probably should have done when they put their helmets on. Whatever. Families with children at the march are encouraged to immediately leave the march due to violence. Now they're worried about the children that were part of the peaceful protest. Then they started sending smoke bombs and other projectiles, continuing to be thrown at police. All participants encouraged to leave the march. Then they canceled the permit. That's it. The march should it's ended. Everyone in the march should leave the streets. Unsafe conditions for lawful participants and families. So you have people that want to do a peaceful protest, which again is part of our constitutional rights. And it wasn't the police that stopped them from doing it. Heck, they were giving them a protection while they were doing it. No, it was the anarchists that prevented the people from carrying on their peaceful protest. It was the anarchists that forced the cancellation of their constitutional rights. The people should be really angry at the anarchists for this. So, info about the May Day vandalism, thrown projectiles, and assaults can be sent to crimes tips, including photos of suspects. Problem is, they're all masked, so really, it's kind of hard to identify unless you catch them, unmask them, and take their mugshot like they have with those 25. They're announcing again the permit had been canceled. Anyone remaining in the streets may be subject to arrest. Due to actions of anarchists, March permit was canceled. Law-abiding participants asked to use sidewalks and leave the area. Impact munitions have been deployed by police against group throwing projectiles at law enforcement. Impact munitions and chemical munitions may be deployed due to numerous projectiles. Chemical munitions may be deployed near Southwest 3rd Avenue and Morrison Street. Buildings should turn off their HVAC systems in the area. And now fires. Yeah, they started fires by anarchists in the area. Incendiary devices were being thrown at police by anarchists, included fireworks, smoke bombs, and Molotov cocktails. Are we seeing here how it devolved from a peaceful protest? Whether you agree with the protesters or not, it is their right to protest until these Antifa anarchists show up. Anarchists have destroyed a police car, damaging numerous windows and properties, starting fires and attacking police. It goes on. I'll make sure to link to this page also. So you can see how the whole situation devolved just from the tweets as things were going on, as they were first trying to keep people safe, then trying to get them to disperse to keep them safe from the anarchists, and to get them out of the crossfire between the police and the anarchists. Now let's take a look at some of the damage that was done before we get into the law and the question of why they were not charged with felony riot. Okay, some of the photos. This is at kgw.com. It's a local news site I'm gathering. Photos, Portland May Day Rally March. Here's window at City Hall was broken. Damage to old federal courthouse building. You can see the window was damaged. Police on the street. Vandalism on the walls. Lighting garbage cans on fire. Defacing police vehicles. The reason that all of this is important is because punishment for felony rioting, depending on different states, name how much damage has to be done, like 500. If it's more than $500 worth of damage, that makes them liable for felony rioting. Those are on other pages. What we're just going to go to is the rioting page. But first, they started big old fires. They needed the personnel. I mean, this costs the city quite a bit of money. Smoke bomb, it looks like. More fires. More garbage cans set on fire. More fires. Take a look. And the rest are from like when it started, when the people were actually being peaceful. Again, whether you agree with why they were protesting or not, these people were being peaceful until the anarchists showed up. Okay, now for the law. There are a lot of laws, federal and state, that were broken by the rioters. We're just going to deal with one here because it gives you an idea of what can be used to charge them. In other words, whoever travels in interstate or foreign commerce or uses facility of interstate or foreign commerce, including, but not limited to, mail, telegraph, telephone, radio, television, with the intent and to incite a riot, organize, promote, encourage, participate in, or carry on a riot, commit any act of violence in furtherance of a riot, Aid and abet any person in inciting or participating in or carrying on a riot or committing any act of violence in furtherance of a riot, and who either during the course of any such travel or use thereof performs or attempts to perform any other act for purposes specified in subparagraphs A, B, C, D, shall be fined or imprisoned not more than 5 years. So these people could get up to 5 years for what they did yesterday. Now, they do say, including but not limited to mail, telegraph, telephone, radio, television. They don't mention the internet, but that is part of the not limited to, because in the day and age of the internet, it can be used as a method of communication to incite, organize, promote, encourage, and participate in riots such as what we saw in Portland, Oregon yesterday. Let's one more look here at that right there. That right there is where they used the internet to organize the riots, and they admitted that at some point they would do their own thing. Their own thing is pretty easily shown right up top. Rioting. These people should not be charged with disorderly conduct. They should not be given a slap on the wrist. This is what encourages them to continue doing this over and over and over again. These people should be charged with felony rioting. They should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And then next time somebody does a peaceful protest, these anarchists, these terrorists, may think twice about starting a riot.